Black Ram for Vengeance, presenting Black Ram the Hebrew, back again with another video. Now this time I am Black Ram the Hebrew. So let me start by forewarning you that this video is not for everyone on my channel. I make videos based off of who I am as a person and different aspects of who I am. And for me, this is the main aspect. Having said that, again, this video is not for everyone. I am a Messianic Hebrew Israelite. I'm not a member of any particular Hebrew Israelite group or organization, but yet I am a Hebrew Israelite, Messianic one through and through. I like to give a show of respect to GMS, Great Millstone. These are men who exemplify what it means to be a man according to the Most High. I have a tremendous amount of respect for these men. So again, shout out to Great Millstone. Now, I would like for you to not listen to this video or turn off this video, forego this video if you are particularly a female, because you will be offended. If you're someone who hates the Bible or an atheist or an agnostic, you will not find this content entertaining, helpful, or what have you. And I would also like to caution you if you are a Christian, because as a Hebrew Israelite, our faith is based upon the Torah, the Tanakh, the Apocrypha, the Gospels, and the Epistles. And putting these things together, it is incongruent with Christianity. So you will be offended more than likely if you continue to listen to this video. So to the Christian, to the atheist, to the agnostic, to those who are offended by the biblical text and the female, particularly the black female, it will behoove you or be in your best interest not to waste your time listening to this video and just simply disregard this one. So I am warning you. It makes no sense for you to listen to a video and take time out of your life to something that you know you will be offended by and disagree with. However, I know there are those who will listen to this just to disagree, but you have been warned. And anyway, hey, Justice for Judah, man, I want to see you in this comment section. Stop playing, Ock. Anyway, I will be reading from the biblical text. So it is proper for me to do this one thing first. Ka halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakatha. Now, the title of this video is The Abominable Black Woman. I'm going to go to the laws and the commandments and the statutes of the Most High Power and show how this beast is a walking and talking abomination, also known as the modern so-called African American or black woman. But she is an Israelite woman. But she has no knowledge of self and walks contrary to the laws of the Most High. Now, I'm going to go to the 10 commandments to show this abomination that is in our midst, starting at Exodus chapter 20. And we're going to get right into it. Chapter 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So the first commandment is not having any other gods before the true and living power, whose name is Yahweh. How does this apply to the black female? The majority of black women are professed Christians. And when you meet a black woman, one of the first things she's going to ask you if she's a black Christian woman, black Christian women, what church do you go to? And she's going to try and convince you to attend her church and sit down under the authority and leadership of her pastor. Now, how is this abominable? The Christian church violates the commandments of the Most High. Christianity is incongruent with the biblical text. Christianity will tell you that who they call Jesus Christ, Jesus Christos, Isus Christos. They will tell you that this white man is God, and that you should bow down and worship a graven image of a European on a cross. This is idolatry. This is paganism. Now listen, Yahweh Shai is not Jesus Christ with the black face. They're two distinct beings altogether. Jesus Christ, they say, is God, or God the Son, but Yahweh Shai is a black man who is the Son of God, the Son of the living power. Now Christians believe that this white man is God. This Jesus is God. This is an abomination. And not only that, they believe that God is three and not one. This is called the Trinity, a doctrine and a construction of Constantine and the Council of Nicaea at 325 AD. This is a European construction. Three gods, but also one. Blasphemy. Pursuant to Deuteronomy 6 and 4, pursuant to the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, 28 and 29, those verses. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord. Yahweh is one, not three. And he has a dear and beloved son who is not God, but his son, who he set above all principalities and powers. But there is yet one God. One, not three. And he is not some European on a Christian cross. So the black woman wants you to bow down and serve and worship this white Jesus, to put God's wrath upon you for your idolatry. She is an idolater. She worships at the altar of the European. She believes wholeheartedly in white Jesus and the European himself. She is an agent for white supremacy, and this is branded in her mind, body, and soul. Abomination. Idolatry the breaking of commandments. And she breaks commandment number 1. Be warned. Exodus chapter 20, verses 7 on through. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Black women claim that they know God, claim that they love God, but know not his commandments. This is vanity. They do not know the name of the true and living God or his Son. And everything they do is in opposition to the Most High power. This is vanity. Moving along. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For 6 days that the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. The black female, under the guidance of the Christian church, will tell you that the Sabbath is a Sunday, which is the worship of the sun, starting all the way back from the Babylonians, the Egyptians, to the Greeks and the Roman. Sun god pagan worship. Sun day. She will tell you to honor this day, that this day is the Sabbath day, and to worship the sun god, Jesus Christos, with the halo over his head on this day. Abomination. She seeks to destroy your soul, black men. This abominable creature who is an agent of white supremacy, who is an agent of death and destruction, who is an agent of all things that offend. Let me read on. Verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee. Now, when you ask your average female or your average Christian, and set the question up like this: what is the law or the commandment that talks about honoring parents? Don't say father and mother. What is the law in the Bible that talks about honoring your parents? 9 times out of 10, whether it's the black male or the black female, because the black male has been taught by the black female, they will profess this. They would say, honor thy mother and father. Now, why is this important? It's important because divine order says father and mother, the man being the head and the female being the servant. It's father first. But in the black community, matriarchy rules. The female is the head of the male. And psychologically, you've been taught to believe that the mother comes first, that the mother is to be honored. In fact, most black folk don't even honor their fathers whatsoever. Most of the time, they never acknowledge him. When Father's Day come, they honor their mother once again. Abominable. Commandment breaking. And we know in the black community, there is no honor of the father or the mother to a degree. But when honor is due, it is due to the matriarch, not the patriarch. And the white supremacists, the powers that be, understood that a community, a people, the children of Israel, who we are, the blacks, the Negroes, Native Americans of America, are the true children of Israel. They knew that if you reversed the order, that would lead to the death and destruction and demise of their community. Abominable. Matriarchy is death. But the black community, so-called, is all about the worship of the female, which goes back to the first commandment, to have no other gods. Not just the hoteps, but your average simp, lame, and pussy beggar does believe that the black woman is God. And in a sense, she is God. She is the goddess of death and destruction. She is a killer. Between her legs, she brings forth death by poisoning the minds of her children with white supremacy, by poisoning the minds of her children to go against the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. She is the goddess of death and destruction. And there are many men who worship her, which leads to verse 13 of Exodus 20, thou shalt not kill. When you put together all of the murders that black men have committed since the 1970s till now, you can put together Vietnam and World War II and the Korean War. And these massacres of men still will not outweigh and outnumber the amount of child sacrifice, the amount, the volume, the number of murder, the amount of killing that is and has been and will be done by the black woman. She is a killer. She is a murderer. Murdering the very child that's within her womb, who by nature tells you that you are to nourish and cherish and raise. But the black woman, the abomination, seeks to kill your offspring, to destroy your legacy, to cut off your seed line for her own selfish reasons. She is a killer like none other, doing what white supremacy hasn't done and couldn't do in centuries. She does it in decades. I heard a stat that the black race is minus 50%, all due to the destruction of the embryo in the womb of the black female. She is a killer like none other. She is walking death. She is evil. She is idolatry. She is a harlot. She is a whore. She is a murderer, unrelentlessly, maliciously, satanically, which goes into the next commandment, that thou shalt not commit adultery. She is an adulteress. The name of her game is whoredom. Whether it's divorce and remarriage in the Christian church, whether it's jumping from man to man to man, cock carousel riding, going from dick to dick to dick. She is an adulteress. She loves the taste of different penises in her mouth and in her vagina. She loves to swallow the seed and the semen of multiple men throughout her lifetime. This is her sexual behavior. She is the meaning of adultery. She defines what it is to be an adulteress. She is the harlot. Abomination. And there's probably no greater whore. There's probably no greater murderer. Probably no greater idolater than the modern black female. She is a killer. Verse 15. Thou shalt not steal. The black female is an identity thief. With her mind robbed and full of white supremacy and full of worship of the European. She seeks to be a white woman with colored contacts, with blonde hair, with weave. She looks to steal the identity of those who hate us, to represent the thoughts and the ideas, not only mentally and spiritually, but also physically, to bear the image of our captors, to bear the image of our oppressors, to bear the image of the murderers of us from the cargo slave ships before and after. She wants to bear that image. She is the representative of white supremacy. She is the enforcer of white supremacy. She is an abomination, a living physical abomination, through and through, to the core of her being, with her weave, with her blonde hair, with her self-hatred. So all she's doing is putting on her uniform, the uniform of white supremacy, the uniform of death, to bring about her adultery and her murder and her idolatry. Abominable black woman. And she's also a thief of your own personal income through child support and alimony. She will not cease, and it brings her great joy to use the system of oppression against you to rob you of your livelihood, black man, Israelite man, Hebrew man, to destroy you in every way possible, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, financially. Death and hell follows behind this abomination called the modern day black woman. Verse 16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And she is a false witness bearer and a liar and a thief. This is quite evident. Verse 17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. The black woman wants everything that belongs to someone else. She wants to be someone else. She wants what other women have. She wants what the white woman has. She wants what the black man has. She wants to lord over the black man. She wants to lead you into destruction. She wants to guide you. She is an abomination. Now, those are the 10 commandments that they say in the Christian church. Christianity, the lawless ones who claim the commandments are done away with, who break God's laws at every turn. And this is her house of worship, the house of rebellion, the house of sin. Christianity, the white man's religion, the religion of our oppressors. This is Black Ram the Hebrew. Now let's get a few more scriptures about this abomination. One of the things about the black woman is that you'll be hard pressed to find any laws of the Most High that she doesn't take pride in breaking. Her idea is to destroy the law and look good while doing it. Now let's go to the dietary law, the food law, the law of clean and unclean. And I'm going to skip around. This is Leviticus chapter 11. And I'm going to skip around. I want to start in verse 7. And it says, and the swine, though it divideth the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. Skip down. Verse 9. These shall ye eat all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination to you. In other words, if whatever swims does not have scales and fins, to eat it, it is an abomination to you. Along with the swine. Now, the black female loves to put the pig in her mouth. 4th of July, American independence, the celebration of our enemies' victories over their enemies. She loves to put this abomination, ribs, in her mouth and smiles while doing so. One of her favorite foods is shrimp, crab, and lobster. And what she favors the most out of all of those things is shrimp. You'll be hard pressed to find a black woman whose favorite food isn't shrimp. They love it, they love it, they love it. It's the best thing since sliced bread for them. The shrimp, the bottom feeder that eats detritus, better known as feces, is the cockroach of the sea. And we know whatever you eat goes into your bloodstream. So she takes this abomination, this abominable food and foods, and she consumes it. And this enters into your bloodstream. She is defiled. She's defiled by all manner of sin and abominations. She loves pork. She loves crab and lobster. She loves shrimp. She loves seafood and will give it to her children. She is an abomination. Dirty, filthy, disgusting. In mind, body, and soul. The very food that she puts in her mouth is detestable and is against the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. How can you love and worship such a foul creature? And I'm going to make one more point. In the book of Genesis, a law is given that the female is to be ruled over by her husband, and that her desire should be to her husband. And then when we read in what they refer to as the New Testament or the New Covenant, this is repeated by the Apostle Shaul. So I will read Genesis 3:16, which says, "Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee, and he shall rule over thee." So the male, the husband, is to rule over the female. But is that what we see in the black community? Second witness, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. "Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach nor usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression." The woman is in the transgression. From the woman is the beginning of sin. She is to be lorded over and headed over by the male. But what does the black woman seek? She seeks to be your boss. She seeks to be your God. She seeks to be your Lord. She seeks to be the man of the relationship. She seeks to rule over you, which is the exact opposite of the law of the Most High power. Beware of this vile, hateful creature. She is a disgusting being. And I'm going to end this reading with one more scripture. And that is the epistle of John, which would be 1 John 2 and 4. 1 John 2 and 4, and it reads, "He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him." The black woman claims she knows God, but only thing she knows, or only one she knows, is Satan himself. The spiritual being Satan, the rebellious one, because that's who she's akin to. She does not obey the law of God, the Most High Power. She does not obey the law of man, the black man. She is a rebellious creature. She is a witch. She is a sorcerer. She is an abomination. She is defiled. I find her guilty of high treason because she is in direct opposition of man and the Most High. Her job, black men, her job, Israelite men, is to sever the relationship that you have with the Most High. She is your enemy. She seeks to sift you like wheat. She plans and desires to destroy you. Every fiber of your being. She seeks your destruction. She is the agent of white supremacy. She is a murderer, an adulterer, an idolater. She is defiled. Mind, body, and soul. You are warned to stay away from her. And by chance, if you find one that is not abominable, she must be willing to submit and serve you as her Lord. But for most of the black women in this country, she is your enemy. She is the harbinger of death and destruction. She is a walking, living, breathing abomination. Black Ram the Hebrew, with a few words, I'm out.